Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me this morning to talk about a Cim200 Carbon Footprint Calculator. So, my name is Juuso Santti, and I am Cim200 Product Manager here at Cim. So, today I will go through the Carbon Footprint Calculator and demonstrate on a high level how it works. During this presentation, I will go through some introductions about Carbon Footprint Calculator, and I will explain how it works and what are some potential benefits of using and recording your carbon footprint calculators. Before the Q&A, I will give you a brief demonstration of how the calculations are done. So you can use the chat box to place any questions that you may have, and I will attend to them at the end of the presentation. So Cim200's Carbon Footprint Calculator was released a few months ago and is part of Cim200 manufacturing module. The Carbon Footprint Calculator has been available in Cim50 for a while now, has been very well received. Carbon Footprint Calculator for the Cim200 was introduced as a part of our latest release, as I just mentioned, and it's been designed to assist manufacturers to identify if there are any potential to reduce CO2 produced by their manufacturing processes. So with Carbon Footprint Calculator, you can monitor your expected and compare them to your actual kilograms of CO2 equivalent output for every single works orders or your manufacturing plant as a whole. So it takes into account the raw materials and component CO2 costs, as well as any electricity, gas, or any other energy used and their respective kilograms of CO2 equivalent as that's how the carbon footprint is calculated and reported. So the calculations are based on the expected or actual energy of fuels that are used within the manufacturing processes throughout the works orders. So by booking in time, the machines have been used, or inputting your overall gas and electricity bill to get the most accurate results. You can even include company cars, trucks, vans, or any other vehicle with their expected annual business miles, and all this can be reported. So every machine can have different energy consumption levels, and therefore if you are using multiple routes in Cim200, you may want to base which route to use to limit the emissions or to reduce your kilograms of CO2 equivalent levels. Booking time for the machines will give you actual carbon cost of energy used in manufacturing processes, but you don't have to necessarily report the actuals. You can base those calculations off your electricity bill as well. So this combined with kilograms of CO2 equivalent, with a mouthful, cost of the components will give you the total carbon cost of your finished items. So in terms of the benefits, there can be many benefits of using carbon footprint calculator. So once set up, it just works on the background without you needing to do any extra work with processing works orders. It is like a costing. So you can track and see where most carbon output is within the business, including overall overheads, and you can pinpoint which machines are the worst culprits. And this will then give you the tools to analyze your carbon footprint and helping you to start making your factories more sustainable. Then there is a carbon border adjustment mechanism, or CBAM. And if you haven't heard about this yet, I am pretty confident that you will very soon, especially if you do any exports and especially into Europe. So CBAM is being introduced all over the world at the moment and have different requirements for different countries. The most notable is the EU. The CBAM, EU CBAM is currently on a transitional period until the end of next year, and it will take effect from 2026 for certain products. UK is also planning to implement CBAM from beginning of 2027, so it's not far away really. That's why our carbon footprint calculator will allow you to get ready and be more prepared for reporting your manufactured goods kilograms of CO2 equivalent. If I jump on and we can have a brief look how the calculations are actually being delivered to you. So if I jump into Sage 200 and we can have a look on main items where carbon footprint operates. So like I mentioned, you can define and you can use any fuel types. You can create your own ones. You can edit the existing ones, but these come out of the box, and we are using this KGCO2e conversion rates based on the carbon trust, so they should be fairly accurate. You might notice here is different electricity tariffs as well, but you can obtain that figure from your electricity supplier, for instance, and amend them and utilize those in your calculations. You can also add carbon footprint vehicles. You will get the CO2 figures from the V5, so you can do the emissions as states in your V5 document, and then you give the average mileage that it will be used within the business. And then we will be able to calculate and include that on your total carbon emissions. You can also add different overheads. So main electricity bill, for instance, for a month. If you're using coal, you can use coal, natural gas, or any other fuel that you have defined in the system. You can input the actual usages or historic usages, and then we calculate an hourly overhead of those fuels. In terms of the machines, if you're operating and booking in actual times, especially, it'll be interesting. So if I have a look in one of my machines, and we have a carbon footprint tab, which will give you what type of fuel that particular machine uses, how much it uses per hour. You can have multi-fuel machines as well. I am aware that that's quite a high figure there. Let's say that 2 cubic meters an hour of gas and 10 kilowatts of electricity. So we will be able to then derive the calculation either based on the expected or the actuals. And once all of this is set in a system and you start processing your works orders, we can have a look at the A works order here, which is just in a entered status. And we have a carbon footprint calculator tab at the end. There's nothing happened, so actuals are still 0, but you can see there's been some changes to the works order. Therefore, the KG CO2e figure has increased over the last couple of months, and you can see the actual breakdown, what contributes to that CO2. Oh, that was the actual breakdown. Let's go and have a look at the proper breakdown. There's what is required in terms of expected carbon footprint. When you're processing the orders and you come into the close of it, that's when actuals will be posted as well. So we have a couple of reports for a carbon footprint. So if I look at first of all, we can look at let's pick up one of them. So let's take, for instance, this particular works order. There we will be able to analyze and see exactly which operations have contributed CO2 to that particular works order, which materials have inputted the CO2. And in terms of reporting as well, we can define a period of time that we would be reporting. So we can say for the full year of 2024, what are my calculated emissions? And that will then tally up all the materials with the CO2, including their stock codes, all the machines. And if you have subcontracting, you can actually attribute the carbon footprint for the subcontracting operations as well. Also, we have a non-production overhead emissions, whereby we can say we have gas, coal, electricity. These are the ones we defined on carbon footprint overheads, as well as the vehicle emissions based on the annual mileage and the CO2 figure from the V5. Also, that can be broken down by a works order. So we have different emission levels per works order, and that way you will be able to see how much you actually was the carbon emissions for that particular batch that you have manufactured, for instance. The CO2 or kg CO2 equivalents figures will be entered also onto the stock item. So each stock item can have its own CO2 emission levels. So all of these combined, it just works on the background, like I say. All you have to do is to set them up initially, and once it's all been set, you don't really need to do anything unless you want to import your electricity invoices, for instance, and keep on top of that. But everything else works without any interaction from yourself. It will all get posted. Good. That's a very brief overview of the carbon footprint calculator. So thank you very much for your time. It's taken about 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of them now. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll stay here for a couple of moments. If you don't have anything, I wish you a very good Christmas, and I'll hope to speak to you in the new year.